Heart Touch family. I know that during these challenging times, it's really difficult for us not to be able to see our patients. And I know some of us can't see our families and our friends right now. Personally, I'm really missing all of that touch interaction that I think I took for granted before. And just recognizing how even the ability to hug someone, it's so simple, but it's so necessary for all of us. So we wanted to offer you a few ways to continue to connect with people. And the one I'm going to take you through today is what I'm calling a love letter. So it's embroidering a heart or sewing a heart on a card or a piece of paper, anything you have around the house, and then using the mail, which is still working, to send that out to whoever in your life, whether it's your patient, your family, even someone at the grocery store, a cashier, or someone in healthcare, anyone who needs a little bit of extra love right now. And you can do this with just a few simple things you have around your house. So you'll need a pencil, scissors, a needle and thread. And this is a pretty sharp needle because you'll be going through paper instead of fabric, which has a little more give to it. And this is embroidery floss or thread, if you haven't seen it before. If you pull out the end of it and kind of split it apart, you'll see that it's actually 6 tiny strands. So this is one of the 6. And when you're sewing on these cards, you want to pull out 2 strands together. So you'll make a long piece, cut it, separate out 2 strands. And this is thick enough that it gives you some substance, but also thin enough that it's going to fit through the eye of your needle. And I'm going to show you a few examples of some of the hearts that I've made. So this is just a standard white card with an embroidered heart. We encourage you to use things you have around the house. This is a page from a magazine with a couple hearts on it. A piece of graph paper I found with a heart on it. A postcard that I had that seems very relevant right now. A couple little cards. These are really fast to sew. And maybe this one's good for a family. And then a rainbow heart, just to give you the idea that you can really go crazy or use other colors, use different shapes to fill in your heart. So when you're ready to get started, find your card or your piece of paper or whatever you have and draw the outline of a heart on it. I like to have a kind of a outline just to follow when I'm sewing, but if you want to freestyle it, go ahead. I think all of the little imperfections can sometimes make it even more sweet and more personal for someone. So you want to thread your needle. I already have this one threaded. And then you'll make a little knot at the end of it. So I usually usually loop my thread around 2 or 3 times. That's going to hold the thread in place. And then when I'm ready to get started, I'm going to start at this little V of the heart here. It's just easy. I'm going to poke a hole with my needle into that point on the heart. I'm going to watch my fingers on the back, and then I'm going to flip the card around, and from the back, I'm going to find that little hole. You can see I have a couple holes on here, but I'm going to find that first hole and bring my needle through, draw the thread through, and then down to the bottom of the heart. And when I pull it back, you can see I've made a line essentially. And then I'm going to come back to that first hole that I made and make a hole right next to it. Again, making a hole from the front of the card, so when I go to the back of the card, I can find it. And it's really easy to pull through. So I'm going to pull through again, and then go down to the bottom. Pull that through, and you'll see I've started filling in my heart, which is essentially what you're going to be doing. You're just filling in that outline, but you're using thread instead of a marker. And I think that these little touches, these extra special things that we can do for people might just brighten someone's day. And I hope that it brightens your day as you're doing it. And so much love to you, and be well.